The thank you page templates for Webinarjam are pretty limited. You don't have any way to add special sections or edit the HTML code. Now for registration pages, you can actually click this first option and add your very own landing page. For thank you pages, there is no option to put in your own link. But I came up with a little trick. You can use an HTML redirect to send a user to your very own thank you page. I'm going to show you how this works in this video. First things first, this is only one way of switching your thank you page, but the other ways are a lot more complex. You could use the API, for example, to completely switch out the registration process with your own forms and all your own pages, but it's not that easy to do. This method that I will show you, you can just copy paste some code and it will work. All right, so I'm going to show you how it looks. I have a registration page set up and we just gonna register. And you can see when it comes to the thank you page, it redirects to my very own thank you page. And on here, I can do stuff that you cannot do on a Webinarjam template. On the right, I have an affiliate program set up where people can recommend the webinar to their friends. And on the left, people can submit an animation that I will critique during the webinar. Yeah, this is the reason why I have to use this technique. However, the biggest disadvantage that you just saw is that the Webinarjam thank you page template will be visible for like a split second or a second before the user gets redirected to the page that you specified. So you could change the content on the Webinarjam template to just say like redirecting and maybe a text, click here if the redirection doesn't work. Which is always a good idea to do with these kinds of redirects. But yeah, as I said, this is a very, very quick and dirty solution, and it's probably not very SEO optimized, but I mean, you already got the registration, so we can be a little sloppy for the thank you page maybe. And if it's very important to you to show something that you cannot show with the Webinarjam templates, this might be an option for you. Now I'm going to show you how it's done. If you go to the Webinarjam interface and you go to edit, you need to go to the full configuration. You can add third-party tracking codes, and these tracking codes is actually HTML code. As I said before, in the templates themselves, you cannot add HTML code, but in this little tracking code field, you can. So that's what we are going to use to sneak in our redirect code. You find that under integrations, integrate a third-party tracking system. Now, we will not put in a tracking system. We will put in the code for redirect. Now, to get the code, you could just Google HTML redirect code generator. And be sure to use an HTML code, not PHP, not a 301 redirect, and not an htaccess redirect. You need the code for HTML. I post a link to the generator that I used in the description. It's a pretty good one because it uses a method that actually skips the redirect in your browser history. So if you hit the back button on the thank you page, you don't get to the webinar template, you get all the way back to the registration page, which I think is pretty cool. And it also has a fallback for people who have JavaScript disabled and an Internet Explorer version. So you're pretty sure that this redirect will work. You still should put if the redirect doesn't work, a note on your Webinarjam template, but you know, this seems to be pretty safe. So I'm going to put the link to my thank you page in here, and it will generate the code. Whenever you copy and paste code like this onto any of your landing pages, you should make sure that you can trust the source, or if you know a little bit of HTML and JavaScript, you should just look over it and see if you can trust it. Now I'm going to copy it and paste it on the post registration thank you page. That is that thank you page template. So all you have to do now is hit confirm and you're done. Test if the redirect works. And I would be very happy to know how you guys will use this. What do you want to put on your thank you page that you cannot put on the Webinarjam template? Please let me know in the comment below and subscribe for more Webinarjam tips and tricks.